We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans, but you know that if there was any way that she could be out.
Adam Silver just witnessed the WNBA's golden ticket confirm she's skipping the All-Star game due to yet another injury, and the timing couldn't be worse. With CBA negotiations collapsing and a potential lockout on the horizon, Clark's absence from the league's biggest showcase has NBA leadership deeply uneasy. The alarms are coming straight from the top. And honestly, Silver has every reason to worry about how the WNBA is handling its most valuable star in such a crucial moment. Let's break down exactly what just went down and why this situation is catastrophic for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced Thursday afternoon that she will not compete in Saturday's All-Star game or Friday's three-point contest after re-aggravating a right groin injury on Tuesday. But here's the real issue: this isn't just any weekend. It's happening right in the middle of CBA talks that could decide whether the WNBA even has a 2026 season.
I'll leave the specific question about the foul to my colleague, Commissioner Engelbert. Other than as a fan, obviously, it's nothing new in basketball that there's sort of welcome for league moments, especially for heralded rookies. But of course, I want to see Caitlin treated fairly.
Adam Silver has previously said, "Of course, I want to see Caitlin treated fairly and appropriately in the league." Watching the WNBA's brightest star miss their headline event due to injury mismanagement must be setting off serious alarms. When a commissioner from a partner league publicly voices concern about player care, that's not a casual remark, it's a direct warning. Silver's comments signal a growing lack of confidence in how the WNBA is handling its most important talent, and that could have far-reaching consequences.
Out there, she would be. Shortly before the show, Clark released this statement through the Fever's social media account, saying that she's so excited for Indiana to host WNBA All-Star this weekend, and that she says she knows that this is going to be the best All-Star yet. But she does go on to say how incredibly sad and, quote, disappointed she will not be able to participate, adding, quote, "I have to rest my body. I'll still be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for all of the action. I'm looking forward to helping Sandy coach our team."
The timing of Clark's injury announcement couldn't be more disastrous for the WNBA, and it's time to hold accountable those responsible for this mess. Cathy Engelbert has been an undeniable failure as commissioner when it comes to protecting the league's top attraction. Sports columnist Christine Brennan even called her out, pointing out that Engelbert can barely discuss Caitlin Clark without shifting attention to Angel Reese. Brennan said, "She wasn't asked about Angel, she was asked about Caitlin." That level of deflection from the league's top executive speaks volumes about misplaced priorities and weak leadership.
In terms of the comments, in terms of the way the commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, who I've known and I like, the way she has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, then she will say, well, Caitlin and Angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel, she was asked about Caitlin. This incredible inability to deal with the facts and to state the obvious, it is astounding to me how Cathy Engelbert doesn't come out after the Marina Mabry hit and say that's unacceptable, the refs got it wrong. Okay, should have been kicked out then, you weren't. But
this is the commissioner who's supposed to be championing the WNBA's biggest superstar, yet she can't even mention Clark's name without changing the subject. That's not leadership, it's dysfunction at the highest level. The numbers don't lie about what happens when Clark isn't on the court. National WNBA viewership has plummeted by 55% since her injury, with Indiana Fever national broadcasts dropping from an average of 1.81 million viewers to just 847,000. A 53% collapse worth millions in lost revenue. And Engelbert is sitting there pretending everything's fine. Let's talk about the officiating and workload disaster that created this mess. According to kinesiology expert Dr. Lucas Seehafer, WNBA players have suffered 141 injuries since opening day. That's 141 injuries among just 179 active players across 44 games each, an absurd ratio that should have Engelbert demanding immediate reform. Instead, she's shown all the toughness of a silk ribbon in dealing with this crisis.
The ball handler, there's a grab, there's a hold. There's another grab. I mean,
all of those
are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally they call.
The officiating has been so inconsistent that even WNBA legend Rebecca Lobo couldn't stay silent, openly criticizing the referees during a live broadcast. She said, "There's a grab. There's a hold. There's another grab. Every single one of those is a foul. And here, that's a foul too." Meanwhile, Clark kept getting hacked with no whistles in sight. When icons of the game start calling out officials on national television, that's not just poor refereeing, that's a structural breakdown. Even Clark's own coach has had enough. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White blasted the officiating, saying, "I thought she got fouled. What's been happening to us the past few games is pretty egregious. The disrespect toward our team has been unbelievable." When coaches start using words like egregious and disrespect, that's not simple frustration, that's a condemnation of league-wide failure.
Who is played 9 years in Indiana and now on the staff. And that's a live shot now of Caitlin.
The harshest criticism of all came after the game against the Connecticut Sun, where Clark was relentlessly targeted without protection from the refs. White vented her anger in a post-game press conference, saying, "Everybody's getting better, except the officials." Her multi-minute tirade ripped into Tuesday's crew for completely losing control of the game and accused the league of allowing the problem to persist unchecked.
The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials. So we got to find a way to remedy it. I mean, you've heard every coach talk about it, so I don't know what the answer is.
She didn't stop there, adding, "Every single year, when we have our league meetings in the fall and spring, we say the same things again and again, and nothing ever changes." It was a moment of brutal honesty that perfectly captured what so many players and fans have been feeling, that the WNBA's officiating crisis isn't just hurting competition, it's undermining the very credibility of the league itself.
That you guys as an organization are doing, I mean, you're speaking out at this point, but anything more that you are doing or you hope to do to engage in the league and addressing these issues with the officiating that you've been very vocal with?
No, I mean, I think every year when we have our league meetings in the fall and in the spring, we say the same thing over and over and over. And nothing has.
That's a head coach openly admitting the league has known about its officiating issues for years, and done absolutely nothing to fix them. Under Kathy Engelbert's leadership, the refereeing has only declined while the league's visibility and importance have skyrocketed. The series of incidents that led to Clark's current injury are textbook examples of officiating failure. During one game, Marina Mabry shoved Clark to the ground after a dead ball, an act officials initially ruled as a technical foul before public outrage forced the WNBA to upgrade it to a flagrant 2. The refs couldn't even make the correct call in real time and only corrected it after being shamed online. Even Clark's brother, Colin, blasted the officiating on social media, tweeting, "Make no mistake, this is on the refereeing," after watching his sister get hurt due to poor game management. When family members start publicly calling out the league, it's not just frustration, it's desperation. Engelbert's response to the officiating criticism has been nothing short of tone deaf. When pressed about it, she said, "It's interesting, no winning team ever complains about officiating, and no losing team ever doesn't." That's not leadership, that's dismissive arrogance from someone out of touch with reality. And the financial implications of Engelbert's inaction are staggering. In 2024, 23 WNBA games surpassed the 1 million viewer mark, and Clark was featured in all but 3 of them. You have to scroll down to the 15th most watched broadcast to find the first game that didn't involve the Indiana Fever. Clark is single-handedly carrying the league's audience, and Engelbert can't even protect her from injury. The financial ripple effect is massive. ESPN's WNBA ratings surged 170%, jumping from 454,000 to over 1.2 million average viewers in 2024, while ION saw a 133% year-over-year rise. And it's all because of Clark. Engelbert's inability to safeguard the league's biggest draw is threatening hundreds of millions in future revenue. The pattern of missed calls and reckless play has been consistent all season. Tuesday's Fever Sun game ended in chaos. 5 technical fouls, 3 ejections, 2 flagrants, and 0 control. The referees completely lost grip of the game because they've been allowed to operate without accountability. The betting market reflects just how much Clark's presence matters. Wagers on Indiana Fever games dropped by nearly 50% within a week of her injury. Half the betting activity vanished the moment she stopped playing. When sportsbooks immediately adjust to one player's absence, it shows the league's financial dependency on her. Silver's concerns go far beyond player safety. He's acknowledged that Clark's rise has been a huge boost for women's basketball, but his public worry about her treatment is a diplomatic way of saying, fix this before the NBA has to step in. And the officiating crisis doesn't end with Clark. Kelsey Plum recently went off in a post-game tirade, saying, "I get fouled like that every possession. They're literally swinging out there and nothing gets called." This isn't an isolated problem, it's a league-wide epidemic. Engelbert's failure to enforce consistency has left players and coaches furious, claiming fouls are called differently from one end to the other and change depending on the quarter. That's not competition, that's chaos pretending to be professional basketball. To make matters worse, the timing of all this could not be more disastrous. Indianapolis, the host of the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend, is covered in Caitlin Clark's face, from billboards to the airport to hotel banners, yet she won't even play because of injury mismanagement. The entire event is built around her, and she's sidelined because league leadership failed to protect her. Add to that the pressure of ongoing CBA negotiations, and the storm gets even darker. With the current agreement expiring on October 31, 2025, players are already preparing for a potential work stoppage if progress stalls. So now, the WNBA faces an injury crisis, officiating disaster, and labor unrest, all while its biggest star watches the league's marquee weekend from the bench. The historical stakes have never been higher. Caitlin Clark never missed a single game in college or throughout her rookie year, yet this season she's already been sidelined multiple times. 5 games in May due to a left quad injury, and another 5 in July after aggravating a left groin strain. This is an athlete who was once considered virtually indestructible, suddenly breaking down under WNBA management. The financial reality of her absence should terrify everyone in the league. Clark's return game drew a massive 2.2 million viewers, peaking at 2.8 million, a staggering 76% increase over last season's average WNBA audience on ABC. When a single player can drive that kind of spike, her absence translates directly into catastrophic revenue losses. Kathy Engelbert's marketing failures only make the situation worse. As veteran journalist Christine Brennan noted, she likes Engelbert personally but says the league office has to do better in promoting its biggest attraction. When respected analysts start publicly criticizing the commissioner for failing to market the league's most valuable star, that's not just poor communication, that's organizational malpractice. Meanwhile, the officiating crisis has reached a boiling point. Fans have started online petitions demanding accountability, stating, since Caitlin Clark's arrival, Indiana Fever games have been consistently plagued by questionable calls, missed fouls, and a lack of discipline for overly aggressive play. When fans start organizing against your officiating, that's not a complaint, that's a revolt. The injury pattern itself has become alarming. Sports analyst Rachel Demita pointed out that Clark's injuries are moving from one leg to the other, from quad to groin to opposite groin. Warning, you can't mess around with injuries that shift around your body. It means something is mechanically off. The evidence suggests that the constant, uncalled contact Clark absorbs every night is creating deeper physical imbalances that could shorten her career. The broader impact on women's basketball is impossible to ignore. The 10 largest WNBA audiences since 2002 have all occurred this year, and every single one featured Clark. When one player is single-handedly responsible for every ratings milestone in over 2 decades, losing her to preventable injuries is sports malpractice of the highest order. Adam Silver's earlier comments about wanting Clark treated fairly and appropriately now carry a new level of urgency given the business at stake. The WNBA is projected to surpass $1 billion in revenue this year, a milestone driven almost entirely by Clark's influence. When an organization's financial future hinges on one player, that player's health becomes a matter of survival. The contrast between Clark's impact and the league's protection of her couldn't be more glaring. Her Iowa career finale drew 12.3 million viewers, the most watched women's college basketball game in history, followed by a Final Four matchup that peaked at 14.2 million, making it ESPN's most viewed basketball broadcast ever. She's already proven she can deliver record audiences, and yet the WNBA seems intent on squandering that momentum through inept leadership. This All-Star weekend perfectly encapsulates the dysfunction. The event, hosted in Indianapolis and plastered with Clark's image from airports to billboards, is supposed to be a celebration of her stardom. Instead, it's become a symbol of Engelbert's failure. The disconnect between revenue growth and player protection mirrors the central tension of the ongoing CBA negotiations. Players demanding a fair share of the profits while the league fails to safeguard its biggest investment. How can anyone talk about revenue sharing when the player generating that revenue is sidelined by mismanagement? The international ramifications are equally troubling. When your domestic league can't protect its most marketable talent, overseas leagues start to look far more appealing. The WNBA's growth trajectory depends entirely on Clark's health and visibility, and Engelbert's missteps are putting that future at risk. What makes this entire situation so damning is how preventable it was. With better officiating, stronger leadership, and genuine player protection, the WNBA could have avoided this crisis entirely. Instead, what we have is a league where referees aren't salaried, get paid per game, and often juggle duties between the WNBA and NCAA, a dual-role structure that creates obvious problems. This flawed setup means officials aren't properly trained, compensated, or incentivized to protect the league's most valuable players. The end result? Your biggest star is forced to miss the All-Star game in her home state because referees can't, or won't, do their jobs. Adam Silver's comments aren't just polite suggestions from a partner league, they're warnings. The NBA is clearly watching how the WNBA manages its most valuable asset, and they're not impressed with what they see. When billion-dollar media deals and expansion plans are hanging in the balance, you simply can't afford for your commissioner and your officiating crews to fail this spectacularly. Kathy Engelbert's leadership lapses have put the entire WNBA on unstable ground. The officials can't protect Clark. The ratings nosedive without her. And now she's missing the league's biggest event of the year. Silver's message couldn't be clearer. These aren't recommendations, they're ultimatums. Fix the officiating, protect your stars, or watch the entire system crumble. The WNBA better start listening before it's too late.